everyone, in Anthropology 1004, Language and Culture and Society. My name is Marietta Richmond, and I will be doing my presentation on GIFs, also known as GIFs. The definition for a GIF is a lossless format for image files that supports both animated and static images that come in the form of a video. GIFs were created in 1987 by Steve Wilhite, who expresses feelings and emotions. My argument for this presentation is that GIF usage is not exclusive to one gender and that it differs between the genders and generations through frames. For the first presentation, I interviewed my friend Jonathan. He is a 20-year-old student studying international affairs here at GW. He started using GIFs a few years ago when Apple added the GIF keyboard to iPhones. Jonathan described that when sending GIFs, he would use them as easy fillers or to express his emotions during the conversation so that there weren't any misunderstandings. In the follow-up interview for this presentation, I asked him who he sends the GIFs to and if they varied between the genders. He responded by saying that he sends GIFs to both genders and that they do differ. When texting one of his male friends, he would send somewhat generic GIFs that wouldn't be considered feminine. On the other hand, if he was texting a close female friend, he wouldn't mind sending a female or feminine GIF to them. For my second interview, I interviewed my dad, Dr. Harvey Richmond. He has been using GIFs and emails long before iPhones were a thing. He is 50-some years old and communicates with his peers all over the country and with people of all different backgrounds through email. When using GIFs professionally, he will say good luck or congratulations through the GIF. On the other hand, when sending a text message to his friends and family, he will send a very goofy one. An example of this was last week I had a presentation on Ebola, and instead of sending me a good luck text or you'll do great, he sent me a GIF that said, when Ebola comes to your city, and with a football player running away. He tends to have conversations with people, especially me, solely with GIFs. Like, we will just have a conversation going back and forth between us, just sending GIFs. When I asked him what types of GIFs he sends to people, he stated that for professionals, they will usually have to do with the conversation or some line of being a professional GIF, if that's a thing. Versus with his friends, they're really just goofy ones because he wants to make people laugh or bring some spirit into their conversation. I followed up by asking him if he sends different GIFs to the different genders, and he responded by saying mostly no, but he would usually send neutral GIFs, like neither masculine or feminine, to everyone he sends GIFs to, except for my mom and I. For my mom and I, he stated that they will be more loving ones or they will be expressing his feelings more so that we truly knew what he was thinking. For my final interviewee, I asked my friend Maura a few questions. She has only been using GIFs for about a year, and this has only come about when she found out that Apple created the GIF keyboard. She uses GIFs to comment on certain situations and to reflect how I feel about something. When I asked who she mainly sends them to, she responded that she will only send them to close friends or people who will appreciate the GIFs, but will send them to both genders. While sending them to both genders, she will send them without varying the types of GIFs being sent. This means that she will send masculine and feminine ones to both males and females without worrying about the response. Okay, so now we are going to dive into our course concepts, but specifically, I will be using gender and frames to convince you of my argument. So for gender, there are many linguistical characteristics that will differ between the two genders. Men are more likely to interrupt and to say their opinion and use masculine terms, while females are more likely to use listening sounds and to use expressions on their face, and also use similar language between the males and females. Like they will use their language to their girlfriend the same way that they will do it to one of their guy friends. This was seen with Jonathan sending males only non-feminine gifts, while on the other hand, Moore would send the same gifts to both genders. Gender can and will shape your reality and how people see and treat you, and this has been seen with all my interviewees. We will discuss this more when I talk about frames. So, with frames, there are two separate frames for the speaker and the listener, but in our case, the sender and the receiver. An example of a frame is the way that my dad sends gifts to his professional peers versus the gifts that he will send my mom. So as I've discussed previously, it wouldn't be appropriate for him to send an emotional gift to his peers that they're discussing something medical, just as it wouldn't be normal to send a good luck or you're doing grade 1 to my mom if it was just a normal day. Frames can also be gendered, so when Maura sends a feminine gift to her guy friend, she might just see it as innocent, and he might too. But depending on his frame and their relationship, he could see it as flirting or something along those lines. This also differs because between two females, by sending a feminine gift or an emotional gift, they could just see it as the sender showing how much they love them or how much they're appreciated by the sender. This, on the other hand, with Jonathan's case, is not the same. If Jonathan was to send a feminine gift to one of his male friends, it might be interpreted the wrong way and he could get some backlash. An example would be is that the guy could assume something about Jonathan that might not necessarily be true and make certain comments such as, "What, are you gay?" or "We don't talk like that." This can be seen in many different situations. So what I have learned from all of my interviewees with male participants is they just try and stay clear of feminine gifts unless they have a certain relationship where they feel safe to send that type of gift. Finally, as I presented throughout this presentation with all of the facts and the examples, gift usage is not exclusive to one gender, and it does differ between the genders and generations through frames. Thank you.